Leyland P76. The Leyland P76 is a large car that was produced by Leyland Australia, the Australian subsidiary of British Leyland. Featuring what was described at the time as the standard Australian wheelbase of 111 inches, it was intended to provide the company with a genuine rival to large local models like the Ford Falcon, the Holden Kingswood, and the Chrysler Valiant. But, due to the first real fuel crisis and demand far exceeding the supply, Leyland rushed the assembly process with the first of the P76s to come off the assembly line, resulting in poor build quality and some reliability problems. The combination of the rushed assembly, fuel crisis and strikes at the component manufacturers' factories, resulted in the Leyland P76 being labeled a lemon, despite receiving the Wheels Magazine Car of the Year in 1973. By 1974, sales of the P76 had slumped and BMC decided to end the production of the P76. Although the P76 has been labeled a lemon in Australian motoring history, it is viewed by some as an iconic Australian car and has a loyal following. In 1969, Leyland Australia was given the go-ahead to build a large car for Australia. At the time of the car's launch, it was reported that Leyland Australia had an accumulated deficit equivalent to $8.6 million, and had borrowed the same amount again in order to fund the development of the P76. The P76 was designed and built from scratch with a fund of only $20 million. This was also a decade of serious financial and operational challenges for the parent company back in Britain. Commercial success for this car was therefore seen as crucial to the survival of Leyland in Australia. Launched in 1973, the P76 was nicknamed the Wedge, on account of its shape, with a large boot, able to easily hold a 44-gallon drum. Although station wagon and Force 7 inches coupe versions were designed, these never went into mass production. The name of the P76 derived from the car's code name while in development, Project 76. The official line was that the P76 was an original Australian designed and built large family car, with no overseas counterpart, and that P76 stood for Project 1976 inches. The Rover SD1, released in 1976, shared several engineering features with the P76, including McPherson strut front suspension, the aluminium V8 engine and a live rear axle. The P76 itself was, however, out of production by 1976. An alternative theory is that P76 were simply the first three digits of Lord Stokes' national service number. Donald Stokes was chairman of British Leyland at the time. Before the P76, Leyland Australia and its corporate predecessor BMC, Australia, had not fielded a direct competitor in large car sector, which then dominated the Australian car market. The P76 was intended to provide that competitor. Previously, BMC and Leyland had tried to compete in this market segment with the 1958 Morris Marshall, a rebadged Austin A95, the 1962 Austin Freeway and Wolseley 2480. The Freeway was an Austin A60 with Riley 472 tail lights, a unique full-width grille and a 2.4-liter six-cylinder version of the 1622cc B-Series engine. The Wolseley was a six-cylinder version of the Wolseley 1660, and the 1971 Austin X6 Tasman and Kimberley, facelifted Austin 1800s with a six-cylinder 2.2-liter E-Series engine. Each of these cars was a compromise, and the motoring public largely rejected as challengers to the dominant local models. Nonetheless, the Freeway, 2480 and the X6 each developed a loyal following.